everybody. We're back and just moments away from our 5th match of the day. Gambit versus SK Gaming, two teams that have shown some explosive play. So let's hope they do the same now. So let's go over to D-Man and Jason for that game.
Thank you very much, Socks. We are just about to see Gambit taking on SK Gaming. So far, Gambit, they are 2-1 up in this head-to-head. But here in the Soup Week, everything's up for grabs.
And this is a huge game for Gambit, but it's absolutely vital for SK. Both these teams are now 3-0 so far and are both looking to have that perfect weekend.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the lineups. Easy for me to say, can't quite work out that well. Blue side, though, is where Darian lingers, and he's been invincible in his last 2 matches. We'll see whether he dies in this one. I may well have jinxed it. Diamond, though, is in the jungle. Alex Itch in the middle. You saw him singing happy birthday to his wife. We all wish her a, well, awesome birthday, especially without a husband. And Genja, the AD carry, along with a very happy-looking Voidal on support.
Of course, over for SK on that red side, we got Kevin in that top lane, Hercubot in the jungle, Ocelot in that middle lane, and Candy Panda, who's been playing phenomenally well, as well as Nif as a support.
So coming into this matchup, both teams are 3-0 in Soup Week and have the utmost respect for one another.
The match against Gambit is probably the hardest match for us today.
I think that SK is doing much better now. I don't know what happened there, but they are playing really awesome.
I think the bootcamp helped Gambit a lot to get the picks and buns straight and train properly.
They're playing like a team, and they're playing really good.
They look very strong with what we saw yesterday. They are playing very well, new champion, new composition. Still, if we play how we play in Scrim, we can win.
So let's take a look at what you guys at home have been voting over on lolesports.com.
And right now, 63% of the votes are for Gambit. And honestly, I would expect this to be a little bit more closer. Like, both these teams are playing like they... Like we knew they could play back in the spring split.
I don't know. The Gambit army is coming out strong. They have suddenly realized, and they've seen their team stepping up and thinking, this is the team we wanted to see. This is the team they want to see in the World Finals. Will they get there? We will see, because they've got to get to the playoffs first. There's a lot to go ahead. Of course, get over to lolesports.com where you can vote for the coming up matches, which is the next one. I can't even remember what it is. There's that many matches. Lemon Dogs EG, of course. Big match coming up after this one. But we don't care about that right now, because SK versus Gambit is what you want to be looking at. So yesterday, SK, well, they moved around the map very well, placing wards, taking towers early on, converting their early lead into aggression and the victories. It seems they've decided to actually stop playing like wussies and decided finally to start seeking out kills.
Yes, and SK looks so strong in their game versus Alton. Ocelot was such a strong presence with his Karthus, and Candy Pen on the Rat did a lot of work. Of course, in their second game versus Fnatic, Hercubot came up huge with his Lee Sin, and we saw the return of Ocelot's Karthus yet again. Candy Pen was back on a comfort champion with Ashe, and he hit a lot of critical arrows during that game. And then, of course, as we saw earlier versus Michi Makers, SK was given a lot of comfort champions yet again, as we saw Candy Panda, who had a 16.4 KD on Vayne, got that champion yet again, and Hercubot got to run that Lee Sin for the 3rd time in a row. And of course, with that early dive in that top lane, both teams focused on the bottom side of the map, and there's just constant all-out brawling. But the momentum, like we always talk about SK being a momentum team, the momentum and the morale boost they just got from these 3 games needs to carry over to today.
Yeah, we saw Gambit, though. They returned to what they know best yesterday. Diamond, there he is on your screen. The man, the legend, he was back on Lee Sin and carrying from the jungle, while the rest of the team, they had a bit of an AoE-based composition, and they seemed to be bringing back the aggression, but they were patient with it.
Yeah, and we all wondered how well Gambit would perform after their boot camp, and after their match versus MYM yesterday, we got our answer. Gambit took a finger for MYM and then took the whole body. We even saw Genja playing aggressive, and instead of going off to farm by himself, he was involved in the team fights. And then they did it again in their match versus Alternate. They just looked strong all around, and Darian got his first death-free game. Obviously, he got a second one earlier on today, and then, of course, in their game versus Evil Geniuses, it was just absolute destruction. Like, right from the beginning, with that early kill from Diamond onto Snoopy, they gained that clear advantage, and Gambit, they're looking unstoppable.
Well, now let's move on to our featured matchup of the day, and of course, who else would it be? It is going to be Diamond Prox and Hercubot. They are the junglers that have been absolutely magnificent on Lee Sin. We saw Diamond going back towards him, but Hercubot, he's kind of been rocking it pretty impressively. And yesterday, honestly, the games were pretty spectacular from both of these guys. Diamond, though, still doesn't believe that Lee Sin is strong, despite the fact he's managed to carry with him regardlessly.
And the thing is, it worked out so well for him. He racked up an impressive 8, 1, and 21 score. That's a KDA of 29, Demon. And Diamond's numbers against SK Gaming are pretty good as well. He's been 6, 11, and 38, but the importance that Gambit doesn't really rely on is him to be passive. He needs to be that aggressive jungler. Also be that real playmaker that he's become to be known for. He's always innovating really new champions, new styles with his gameplay. He blew everyone's mind with that jungle karma against Fnatic a couple of weeks ago, and that's the kind of decisions that, like the big plays that he's making, that make a team really good.
Yeah, and Hercubot, well, you can see him on the right-hand side of the screen there. Not a bad-looking chap, I think you'll find. I remember the wink in the opening first week of spring that set ladies' hearts aflutter, but he had a fantastic day yesterday. He's also played Lee Sin in both games, and he's looked great, moving around the map, being really proactive. He went 5, 3, and 30 in SK's 2 wins. That was yesterday for a KDA ratio of 11.6. Massive plays from him. He was playing like he did in the spring when he had the highest KDA in the league.
Yeah, he did look phenomenal on Lee Sin, but he's had even more luck with like Xin Zhao. SK is 5-1 when he plays with him, and Diamond loves this champion too, so there's going to be a lot of contesting about this Lee Sin, Xin, and the junglers are in even a battle in that champion select already.
You know what? I reckon after all the hype, they're just going to ban it. It's going to be like,
just take it out.
Banned.
I hope not.
Well, we did see Diamond actually pulling out Evelyn, of course, earlier on, which actually, ironically, used to be banned against him all the time. Until he started playing Lee Sin, and then they went against ban Lee Sin.
And the thing is, he's had such a bad track record, this split with that Evelyn, and so people stopped banning out against him, and then that just damage he did, that early kill on a Snoopy got him rolling. He had so much damage that no one could really kind of stop him, and if he gets another game like that, Gambit are going to walk over SK. However, I don't think SK is going to let that happen.
And did you notice Ocelot there? The scarf he has on.
Is it an SK scarf?
It's an Ocelot scarf.
It's an Ocelot scarf.
It's an Ocelot scarf. It's his own actual scarf right there. So I don't know where he's pulled that out. There he is. Look, you can check it out. It is Ocelot. Look, yeah, Ocelot. Sure enough. It's not his face. It's his little insignia thing, the same as his mouse mat that he has there. So
it's an Ocelot?
It's an Ocelot. Do you think is that what it's going to be?
It's an animal.
Like a cat thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nevertheless, enough about Ocelot. Let's take the love away from him and look at the actual bans. Karthus and Fizz being taken out by Gambit. Meanwhile, Misfortune has been removed. Don't want to see Genja on Misfortune again. Twisted Fate also from Alex. These are actually champions that have worked very well for them in the last 3 matches.
And the thing is, both these mid laners have played Karthus. Both of them have played Twisted Fate before. I think, actually, yeah, both of them have played Fizz within the spring and summer split so far. So they're really trying to take away these key champions from the mid laners, which Ocelot was really a huge playmaker alongside Hercubot. And I'm still hoping that we don't see Lee Sin ban here, because I really want to see which team will pick that one up.
Well, the next ban's definitely being considered. Zac was the choice.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Kevin.
Well, if they've got to ban Shen, surely take that away from Darian. Because he's been invincible on that.
That means they don't even ban Shen.
Through.
They let Shen get through, and then they pick up Lee Sin themselves.
I don't think Gambit would go for a Lee Sin first pick.
Well, we'll find out right now.
We will find out.
I mean,
there is
Sona
the Shen
available.
ban, so Darian will not be playing that. There he is, the Snake Man himself. We'll see whether he...
Sona.
Wow, that was the old days.
Yeah,
they haven't done that for a while.
Because she's been banned out against them quite a bit. So we'll see. Obviously, you have 40 seconds to go, but this is like the real deciding factor. What kind of composition Gambit wants to go for, and the aggression we've seen out of them has just been scary. Like, if you're playing against them, they'll be everywhere. They'll catch you off guard. SK has been doing so well. Like, they've always had problems finishing games around that 40-minute mark, but they're like, all right, well, we're not going to let it get to that point. We're going to finish the game earlier on.
Going with Thresh. And actually, you know, you're talking about that. We saw the Meet Your Makers game. We thought, okay, Meet Your Makers just had a bad game. But they did the exact same to EG, and then it's just like, oh, damn. And well, speaking of oh, damn, Zed and Lee Sin do get locked in straight away. So Hercubot has got it. He's got the better KDA, or not technically if you compare the last 3 days, but over the last few times Hercubot's been playing it, he's got the better KDA, which is not bad when it's against Diamond.
I'm really happy to see this Zed, actually. More than the Lee Sin, funny enough. Because
you know what? Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you because Shyvana, come on, do it. Do it. No, it's gone for Evelyn.
It's not locked in yet. Come on, just channel it to him. Just say it in your head.
Well, the Gangplank's there, so I'm excited. So I was thinking, Gangplank, Shyvana. I thought, God, they've been practicing in Kiev. I thought they were going to pull out the full Moscow 5, or the Empire, in fact, as it was back then.
All right, so to go back to this Zed real quick. Ocelot on these assassin champions, I love seeing him on that. I hate seeing him on these utility mid laners like Orianna. I mean, it worked out so well for him last season. This one, it hasn't.
It could be Kevin, you know.
It could, yes, it could. It definitely very well could be. And that's I guess, the advantage of taking him early on. You don't know exactly where it's going to go. But Gambit respawn with the Kayle. Very good counter to him. It makes you don't have to buy like a Zanya's or a QSS because you can just ult yourself and prevent all that damage.
Ocelot fighting off the fly there. I know what he's doing. We've spoken about this morning. There's a rogue fly in the studio somewhere, and the players are not happy about it. Wait, what can you do? There's a fly.
Kill it.
Well, yeah, they're not.
It's that easy.
They're sportsmen. They should have ninja-like reflexes. They should do a bit of a karate kid and catch it in their fingers. Back to the picks and bans.
Impressive.
Back to the picks and bans. Kayle, like you said, and Vara's actually being locked in now because Misfortune was banned out.
And Genji, he actually has 6 wins out of 12 games played on VAR, so 50%, not bad, but it's definitely not one of those champions he's been doing so well on with that Misfortune, and I would like to see that rat again. Candy Panda did so well on it yesterday.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier on about what do you ban against Candy Panda. A lot of teams have been banning out the AD carriers and focusing towards him, but as you can see, Gambit thought, well,
yes.
No point.
Thank you.
There's the Zyra Ashe coming out.
We saw this yesterday, and I was like, come on, pick Ashe. The Ashe-Zyra combo that Cloud9's been doing in North America and has been doing so well. I can't wait to see this lane. I mean, Nif is a 100% 5 for 5 with Zyra now.
Renekton insta-locked in there. There's the Evelyn choice as well that Diamond was after early on, which actually means will this be Kevin on Zed or will it be Ocelot? Of course, the fact that Kayle was picked in there, he could counter-pick Kayle here.
Could also go Rumble.
We'll see.
I mean, if we want to put Kevin on the top lane, his Rumble's been so strong, both splits. He just doesn't play it too often. He also has Rise's potential, 100% win rate on him, 2 for 2. But, I mean, this is a crucial decision.
What would you do in this position right now?
Be happy that I was actually in that position, first of all. But I would like to see Rumble, because Rumble with Zyra, with an Ashe initiate, is going to be very strong. You have a Lee Sin slow in there, too. And it's pretty good against Renekton. And
so
Kevin,
if you were in your solo queue in your Diamond 1 right now...
if I was solo queue, I'd be like, well, I'm not support, so dodge.
Dodge. Relia, okay, that's a champion we did see Kevin playing in the spring, but I don't recall him pulling it out in the summer yet. But there it is, it has been locked in. So it's the classic matchup, Aurelia versus Renekton.
Okay, so we've always known Wicked to be like the best Aurelia player in Europe. But I've always compared Kevin to be the same. Like, he is phenomenal Aurelia. He's so smart in terms of jumping around with that Blade Surge to dodge people, to stun them under turrets. He's really hard to dive, especially with the tenacity you get built in with your passive. So it's going to be a very strong champion in that top lane. And right now, SK, they have a lot of comfort picks.
But they also have a lot of AD. There's no real magic coming out there, apart from Nif, unless he decides to suddenly throw out some Rabadon's Death Cap.
Well, we've seen
Rabadon Zonyas, as we were calling it
That
earlier.
would be good, yeah. But we've actually seen a lot of Zyra's build like towards the Leandries, if they have the money for it. And with the way Nif's been playing Zyra, I think he could have the potential for it, which Leandries is a really good item when the other team builds a lot of health. But right now, with Gambit having a lot of comfort champions, with the Renekton, actually, well, across the board, they all have comfort champions. If SK can survive that mid game, don't let Diamond be impactful early on, they're going to look very strong into that late game.
And actually, speaking of games this week, SK have done very well in the lane phases in the first 3 matches so far in Super Week.
Yeah, we've actually seen them go for very early turrets pretty much every single game. They go for that 3-4-man stack, get the kill, get the turret, then just pretty much go around the map together and picking them off left and right. And it's going to go down to Candy Panda. Can he land the arrows? Because that's going to be the big initiate for the team. Can Hercubot out-jungle Diamond on this Lee Sin? I mean, the guy who pretty much brought it here to Europe, and he's playing that champion against him.
Yeah, and it's actually been Hercubot that kind of has been helping out win out those early lane matches. Will they try and camp out Darian? Will they try and put the pressure on towards Genji and Voidal? A lane that a lot of people considered weak. They were being passive, but suddenly Genji's found a new lease of life since Voidal's come into the team. He's been a little bit more aggressive. Maybe that's what's been working in Kiev. Maybe that's something they've discussed about maybe in that boot camp to say, guys, we have to be more aggressive, and Genji, you have to step up your game. He's certainly done a fantastic job on his Misfortune, but now he's been switched. Now he's been forced onto Varus. Will he go with a different build? So far, he's been building triple Doran's blades, all sorts of strangeness coming out from him. But Candy Panda with Nif, who has a 100% win rate on Zyra, has played magnificently well so far. we'll see how this one works out. If you just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, you've missed a good many games already in Super Week. Gambit right now, they are in second place. They were on the blue team, and SK Gaming chasing them, joint third place on the red team.
And a 5-way tie, just to put that out there as well. But actually, SK against Gambit, their track record within the LCS, they're 2-5 against them. Not the greatest thing, but then again, they were 19-0 against Fnatic, and we're finally able to overcome them. But right now, SK, they are set up for, I think, a counter invade right here. Might be able to pick up Dime. They don't actually see him there just yet, I believe. But Kevin's actually going to run the corner and spot him.
And remember the 100% crit that could come out from Ash here on Candy Panda. He's very close. He's not going to throw it out, though. Yes, he is. He's going to put a volley shot down. That's going to put a lot of pressure on Diamond. He's going to have to back away, but it's within a minute, so it's going to be plenty of time to get back into that lane before anything respawns and any jungle starts.
The one thing is that there's nothing they can really do off of that, because they invested heavily into pink wards with Nif. He didn't go for any green wards. They're not going to get any vision inside the jungle. If anything, they're making Gambit assume that they're going towards red and are trying to counter them here at blue.
Well, they have got that ward on both. We'll see whether it goes towards there. Of course, it's only at the back of red, the ward. It seems that they are going to back away. Ironically, Gambit got the exact same ward in the exact same place on the red without any problems at all, and just walk straight in and put it down there. And it does seem that Diamond is going to get vision spotted. They know that that ward is there. It's only an Explorer ward, was that? Yeah. Yes, it was on the blue.
And the really scary thing is that the pink ward war has started, Demon.
The pink war has already started.
It's going to get really dangerous. But Alex, actually, if you look over at the blue buff, he's actually going to spot Ocelot here. I'm not sure if that's a target he wanted to hit, but he's going to do some good damage.
It's going to do some damage. They're going to go straight for it, and Ocelot's actually just going to turn this one back around, try and go aggressive on towards him. Meanwhile, the blue fight discusses, that's going to be both ignites used, and actually Ocelot started coming out on top of that, which is why Alex has decided to back away from this one. Voidal coming in there with that ward placement, trying to cause a problem, trying to cause an issue, and he may actually do it. A good play there. Kevin's taken very low. The ignite's ticking. Is it going to be enough to take him down? The health bot should cover his backside just about, but that is everyone backed away, and that's a problem because Hercubot will not be able to get on this blue buff. Look at this, Diamond coming around with his blue of his own. He's going to counter, and he's going to pick it up.
He doesn't have smite right now, though, but no one's there to stop him anyways, and this is such a strong start from Gambit. You delayed Lee Sin, who needs that strong early game to really be useful as the game goes on, and Gambit, they are looking fantastic. They really are. That ward placement by Void right there to just stop them. Then the aggression, the flash coming out, and make Kevin go back, and he's going to be late to lane. You saw Darian actually go take his wolves again, like we saw earlier on today, and he's going to be fine in lane. There's no way to be dove with 3 people.
So serious problems for SK Gaming from the very beginning. He managed to counter Hercubot. Despite the ward placement, the pink ward began. Gambit came out on top. And then the counter jungle began, and sure enough, Diamond came out on top. The lane switches, though, let's look at those. We can see Nif and Candy Panda on your screen there. The Zyra-Ash combo, they're going to be up against Renekton, which is Darian.
And he should, I mean, like I said before, he should be fine for the dive that's not going to come anymore because Hercubot was forced to back. And, you know, I was just thinking, like, being Hercubot in that position, being very low at double golems, considering against an Evelyn, like, that's very scary, considering she can just show up right behind you and kill you. Obviously, just have that flash available, and right now, Gambit, I mean, they're winning flat out just from that early bit of pressure they put onto SK.
Yeah, Alex is doing a grand job in this mid lane as well because Ocelot was involved in all those shenanigans that were happening on blue, and he's put him a long way behind Alex in that mid lane.
One thing, though, that SK does have, actually really is good for them, they have a huge CS lead right now in their top lane for their AD carry. And with that Ashe Zyra combo, you have so much range, so much poke, that you can really force Darian to not get as much CS currently, which they really need to do. And they have a lot of pink ward coverage too, so they're gonna be pretty safe for a little bit longer. And obviously, they're gonna have to invest a lot more wards into pink to really kind of solidify this aggression they're going for.
See Hercubot having to give up his wolves for Kevin because Kevin was set back a long way. Still only level 1 as well compared to Darian, who is already level 3 in that top lane. So he's going to have a rough lane against Genja and Voidal.
But you see the difference in playstyle. SK's being aggressive top, pushing that turret down as quick as possible. Bottom lane, though, Gambit are letting the wave freeze. They're making it so Kevin can't farm up. Hercubot can visit top lane just like we've seen in the past 3 games from them. But I don't think they're able to get this turret, not with Diamond there.
No, Diamond with the double buff is ready and waiting for this one. They may actually try and go, Diamond, bit of caught onto Hercubot, may have gone aggressive, slice and dices across instead, and they are going to clear out that wave quickly, which forces them all to back away.
And I can't stress this enough. Look how set far back Kevin is. He can't go to lane. He has nowhere to go to farm right now. He can't afford to push past his turret because he's still level 1 5 minutes in. He has to make something happen, and that might be a push on middle here. They might try to go, well, they can't dive Alex. He's level 5 right now.
No, he's put a pink ward down on the Dragon. There wasn't a ward there, so he's not even going to get any gold for that, which is what he was maybe looking for. He was going to go head towards the Wraiths, but you can see there's actually countering from SK. SK taking away the Wraiths here from Gambit's jungle because they know that Diamond Prox is up in that top lane, so they have full confidence that he's still there, so they're not too worried about this one, although Candy Panda did flash away. The Grasping Root catches on towards Darian, turned around, put a couple of arrows in his backside, but Darian's not too worried about that. He'll just be able to regen it back up.
And the thing is, Darian and Diamond have to be so happy right now because they realize the bot lane's fine, as Hercubot is going to actually show just so so Kevin can sit in this wave and pick up a little bit of levels, but all he has to worry about is that top lane or mid lane. And right now, both of them are doing fantastic. 40 to 29 CS in the mid lane, 22 to 3 in the top, and right now, Gambit are just looking unstoppable. I can't say that enough.
They're trying to react to it. Ocelot was actually coming down towards the bottom lane. They're trying to put some damage down, but look at this. Voidal's having a good go at Kevin, just straight up on his own because he's got that level of advantage, putting the lashing down there. And now Alex and Diamond, they're putting pressure on towards the mid lane turret. Ocelot's going to try and turn this one around. Tries to put the aggression back on towards Alex Sitch, but realizes he hasn't got his ulti yet while Alex does.
Wow, and just across the map, Gambit is just controlling SK as much as possible. You see the response by SK to have Hercubot down bottom to babysit Kevin and make sure he can level up, but also for the top lane of them to push that turret down as quick as possible so Kevin could finally be in a lane where he could pick up some CS, pick up some levels freely.
Yeah, a lot of investment for those pink wards, and ironically, Diamond really hasn't been roaming much. He's just been helping, propping up the lanes. This top lane, this is where the SK have their one singular advantage. They have to put the pressure. They have to take this turret down as quick as possible. They have to free up Kevin from his torment in that bottom lane.
I would not want to be him right now. Maybe actually, yeah, I just would not want to be in period. He's actually coming top lane right now. So instead of taking the turret, they're actually just going to send Ashe and Zyra bottom, and he's against a Renekton who is level 6. Level 2 to 6.
That's
Kevin
going to be horrendous.
He could die easily in this lane.
Yeah.
If you see one good stun land with the Ignite, with the ultimate coming out of Darian, he has to be very careful. And Hercubot, I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of sits towards his top side of the map just to make sure he's okay.
Level 2 to 6. Looks like Diamond will be taking the blue buff. And Kevin, well, he's going to hit level 3 in a moment. But as you mentioned, it's just horrendous. He's 30 plus CS behind, which no surprise there. He's been completely zoned out. But the fact is, he could get absolutely destroyed by Darian if he goes aggressive on him now.
And bot lane, Gambit is still freezing it. I mean, SK is obviously going to come and reset it here momentarily, but look at Genja, 3 Doran's Blades. A little bit ahead right now of Candy Panda, who has a little bit more sustain. But here comes the big moment. When Candy Panda hits 6, are they going to be able to make that global Ashe arrow work? Are they going to be able to maybe kill Darian if Hercubot visits top and the arrow hits him? Are they going to be able to maybe kill Alex in that mid lane? Pretty much, they have to make a kill happen here, or they're just going to fall further behind.
And something we also haven't mentioned is the fact that Diamond is level 7 and Hercubot is level 4.
Yeah, that is even worse. I mean, Hercubot, what makes Lee Sin so good at jungling, or not jungling, at ganking, despite the fact, as we do see a fight bottom.
They're going into Nif, they managed to flame away, he's dead, that's going to be first blood. Genja picks that one up, no issue at all there.
And that is it kind of sucks because they just got there, so they didn't have time to put pink wards down. He only has 1 currently, and Diamond just came from the lane, and now Dragon's going to be started up here, and Gambit doing a phenomenal job of controlling this, taking about an 840 Dragon.
Yeah, they're going to get in towards this one. We have actually seen some very fast Dragons here in 3.10 in the European LCS, but as it is, Gambit will be taking this one kind of a normal time, I guess. They're going to be happy with that. That's going to stretch their gold lead, their experience lead, more importantly, is going to continue to stretch. Ocelot coming towards his top lane, trying to help out Kevin, who's been mercilessly persecuted in his top lane. Still got 3 levels down on Darian. We do see Hercubot, he's chasing the experience as well, and Ocelot's had to back off.
Hercubot is level 6 now, though, so he's caught up quite well. Kevin's still obviously level 4, and now putting pink wards on. He's being forced to invest into those, because look at his items. Just a Doran Shield, just a health pot, just a mana pot, because he wants to be able to like sit in lane, but because of these pink wards, he's being forced to pick up, which Hercubot should be helping him do right now. He's not going to be able to build anything anytime soon.
This is not a fun game for Kevin right now. He will not be enjoying this. He's going to Blade Surge across, does get locked up. Not a great deal of damage though from Darian on there. Kevin will be happy with that. He's up to level 5, so he's managed to gain ground on him. Just a touch here, but Darian doing a good job of trying to keep Kevin zoned out. Well, he's not zoning him out, he's just keeping him away from the CS.
Yeah, I mean, he's letting him get the experience, but not letting him get the CS, which makes Aurelia so strong. I mean, the levels do, but also just one offensive item and then just go straight tank after that. You can actually do very well, especially if you can get into that back line, or maybe Diamond, who isn't really going to build tanky, just going to build that pure damage.
So as it stands between them, it's a giant's belt differentiating between Darian and Kevin. You see 64 to 19 CS. No real fault of Kevin's either. The arrow completely whiffing there on Genja, just sidestepped it with a basic movement.
That's something Candy Panda doesn't really do too often. I think that would be like the only one in the game. He doesn't really miss too much, but right now Diamond's coming in behind him here, and with the Varus ultimate, they could probably win that fight.
They've got no ward coverage in that river at all, so they have no idea that he's there, so they will just simply get caught out. We do see Hercubot's actually backing off. Will he get spotted? I'm not too sure because we're not looking at it. Instead, no, he's going to walk straight in there, so he's managed to get himself into this bush without any vision. Candy Panda, is their spider senses tingling? It seems that it is.
Well, this is where Diamond got the kill last time, or at least the first blood. And looks like he's not going to be able to do it this time, but he might actually just get some vision on that blue buff, know when it's going to respawn, and may come in from the turret here. But still, I mean, Alex going for that Stinger, go for that Nash's Tooth, which was reworked, I believe, in 3.9, which actually does extra damage on hit based on ability power plus a flat, I believe, 10 it is. And we'll see how this goes. I mean, Ocelot hasn't been able to roam around and pick up any kills just yet. He's keeping up in CS, which is pretty good. But he needs those kills. Like, he needs that little oomph to get going.
Well, so far, the story of the game's all been about that level 1 blue bullying by Gambit. They managed to take it away from SK Gaming, and that's, in turn, caused a 50 CS gap between the two top laners. That, we'll see whether continues, because it is a huge, huge differential. Voidal in that lantern out, spots out Hercubot, which means that Gambit are going to continue to just sit back and actually keep pressuring and farming. They're not sitting back. They're going to keep pushing the tower.
Yeah, they know when... Well, Candy Panda's arrow is up right now, so we're probably going to see an engage come out of SK right here with Hercubot still in the vicinity. He actually does back away instead. I was thinking they might try to go for a fight, but Diamond's there to counter it anyways. Yeah,
and he's ready and waiting, so as soon as that arrow comes out, they're going to launch on them, see if they can put pressure back on towards them. Hawkshot goes out, it went towards Genja. Diamond don't think he's been spotted yet. Plants are coming out, but he's not getting caught by any of the vision, so they still don't know that he's lingering, waiting. Ocelot's actually making movements to go towards the top, so we'll look at that in a moment. We're just going to try and keep our focus on his bottom lane, but
I think they just saw him.
Absolutely want to get a kill on towards Darian.
I think because Voidal walked into one of those plants and stood next to Diamond, they actually saw him. Because you can do that with wards. Look at the Caitlyn trap. If you step on one and you step near one of your wards, the enemy team can actually see it. So I think they did spot him, but he's still sticking around. He's committing a lot of time here.
Well, both golems being taken out by Hercubot and Ocelot. The ninja and a karate sensei champion, whatever you'd like to call it. Nevertheless, he's going to go in, pops the Dominus. He's not going to be enough, surely, for these three-man gank to come in. Ocelot with the death mark will pick up the kill.
And that's what they needed right there to kind of get this ball rolling. They finally got one kill here. They might lose their blue buff for it, though. And right now, they could keep pushing here. But, you know, Alex, he was getting his own blue because Diamond's committing so much time down here. Usually, he would help them out and get on that blue buff, but now he's gonna go top lane, stop that push. But Diamond, he's coming around behind. He wants blood, and he's probably gonna get it here.
Sensing blood, but look, they're already backing away. Pops the ultimate down on towards Candy Panda. Switches targets to Nif. The piercing arrow comes through. Nif will go down. Tries to turn around, puts the plants on towards Genja, and he's forced to back away. He was on turret. That's gonna be the passive coming out from Nif as well. Managed to get a shot on towards him. Candy Panda throws out the arrow. Not quite close enough. It was Genja who was aiming for. Wanted to try and catch him by the turret. Volley shot is available. Ocelot is coming in, but he hasn't got Deathmark back available just yet. Let's see whether he tries to dive in towards anyone. Hasn't got Ignite either, so would be a little bit too suicidal.
Yeah, and Genja has Chain of Corruption up, so he definitely would be stopped, would end up dying and pretty much losing out on a lot of farm middle, which currently Alex has been able to pressure quite well. And is he actually going to take this blue here? I mean, obviously going to help in lane, going to help with the cooldowns, also give us a little bit of extra energy regen. But Alex is doing phenomenal right now. I mean, just he has Snatches 2 done. He has that first turret of the game done middle. He's going to be allowed to roam around quite a bit. And the thing is, his ult is just a perfect counter to what Ocelot can bring to the table with that death mark.
So Hercubot, he's gaining himself a bit of ground here. He's got himself the levels experience back. So that's a good job because Diamond spent a lot of time in that bottom lane. Looking towards the top lane, Kevin, he's managed to gain, well, he's still 2 levels behind, but in terms of gold, look at that. It's still a huge, huge difference because that CS gap is actually increasing. Darian's still continuing. Now with that Sunfire Cape completed, he's going to become such a lane bully on Kevin. This is not fun times for him.
Oh, no, definitely not. And he's going to build towards the Sunfire Cape as well. But luckily for Kevin, he does do true damage off his W when he does hit it. So he can actually fight Darren a little bit. But right now, with Dragon respawning, Gambit is all on top of it. And they're just going to take it away.
And when Gambit win games, Gambit control the Dragon. That's generally how it works out. And right now, gold advantage is enormous between these two, as you would expect with such a dominant start for Gambit. In terms of kills, though, not a great deal happening across the board because Gambit, they haven't needed to be overly aggressive. We talked about it at the start, how patient they are at times. Kevin trying to use that ultimate, stuns up Darian, having to use everything he can just to try and get it round. Hercubot comes in, the ominous pop once again, and he's going to go towards the side of him. Hercubot, though, can't get the other side of him to get that kick down, wants to direct him towards Kevin, but instead, two of them couldn't take down the giant crocodile.
And Darian has no words top lane, which is, I mean, kind of his style, but he's not getting killed that much. I mean, he's able to escape quite a few of these ganks right now, and Gambit, with the goalie they have, with the way they've been playing this past week, I think they're going to be really explosive, and here's a gank.
Chain of Corruption on towards Genja, used the arrow, but he flashed around it. Nicely played from Genja there. Now he turns his attention to Nip, piercing arrow, back up, gets the double kill.
And wow, that flash, something I could never do. That was fantastic, going over the arrow to avoid it and able to pick up that kill. Now 3-0-1, and just as I was saying before that went down, when Gambit decides to make these fights happen, it's going to happen, and they're going to win them here. So SK have to kind of stall out as long as possible and get as much farm as possible to keep up. And right now, they're losing across the board.
They're losing across the board. LCS really hasn't needed to get involved, hasn't had to come in and use that ultimate to save someone's life. He's just been farming, free farming in that mid lane. Every time Kevin tries to pick up some CS, Darian comes in, puts the stun back on him, just drops him back a little bit more. You can see 130 CS to 64. If you just tuned in, you'd be thinking, good God, Darian is dumping on Kevin from a great height. But really, it wasn't about that. It was all about being pinned off in that bottom lane in his 2v1.
Yeah, it's all about that control of the lane by Gambit, by Genja and Voidon particularly, to make sure it's pushed up against them and to kind of just leave it there. Force Kevin to go back to Wolves and find some other avenue to get his CS. And right now, with this lane swap happening, now Candy Panda and Nif are being shut down when they were doing exceptionally well at top lane against Darian.
Yeah, that Ashe Zyra combo. I'm just thinking of Aranea right now, that's all. But the Ashe Zyra combo has been working so well. Diamond's going to go in once again, going aggressive, but Hercubot's there this time. Death Sentence lands on Candy Panda, tries to flame away, but Voidal might be in trouble himself. The damage though, piercing arrow comes across. Genja picks himself up the 4th kill of the game.
I think Hercubot just realized he has that Bloodthirst, but also he's coming in from the side. He has that Death Mark available. He wants to pick up a kill. Ashe Arrow is available too.
Enchanted Crystallary can't really miss this one, doesn't matter. There's the volley on towards Voidal. There's the arrow, this time on towards Genja. Ocelot's desperately trying to escape Diamond proxy here, but Diamond's going to try and turn this one around. Back on towards Candy Panda. One more shot will do it. There it is. Nif actually picks up the kill, but he gets taken down. The passive back up. They can't take down the mighty Genja right now. He is absolutely dominating this lane.
And he's not done yet. He wants to hit a piercing arrow and go for a kill, but no, not long enough range. And then Alex shows up. And I say that like awkwardly because typically he's the one to make these kills happen, but it's been all about Diamond roaming around in the jungle, making these ganks come through, and Alex has just been farming away. Almost 200 CS, 18 minutes in.
Yeah, quite happily just picking up the farm. Kevin again continuing to be bullied by Darian in this top lane. Not really able to do a lot about it. He's pretty much been on that turret the entire game. To be fair, he's done pretty damn well not to die. The piercing arrow on Candy Panda is going to be enough though. Genja gets caught. Hercubot on him. This could be the death, the execution of Genja at last. The shutdown bonus will be going to Hercubot.
Wow, fantastic job by Hercubot to be in the right place at the right time yet again. If he just returned from that death after that gank bottom, Darian coming in, Candy Panda might be in trouble.
Grasping root though, catches on towards Darian and then just force him away there. Didn't really want to go 3v1. He did sense a nice juicy kill though on Ashe.
And Candy Panda, who's 1-1-2, falling behind in CS, with actually Darian leaving, it gives Kevin the opportunity to push the lane and get a lot of CS for free, but Gambit are going to respond by pushing middle with 3 people.
So let's have a look across the board because items are starting to get picked up here. Gambit are actually starting to group and they're starting to put pressure on this middle inner turret, but it is surely the blue buff that they will be targeting. Diamond Prox will be taking that one away. Or will he? No, it's going to give it across to Alex Hitch by the looks of it, so Alex will take that. Passed into the 200 CS mark, like you mentioned. And I don't believe Dragon's going to be available for a while. I was just wondering if they were hanging around there. But no, it's going to be backing away. This is actually, I was about to say buying time for Kevin in the top lane, but he's actually been forced to come down. Still yet to get his Sunfire Cape, and still 60 CS behind Darian.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to contest these dragons. He cannot continue to let Gambit get these for free. It will be up in about a minute right now. But Alex, we've seen so many different KO builds. We've seen like these bursty builds with just building straight AP that Shusha used to build back in the spring split and the qualifiers. And there's also seen this on-hit kind of build with attack speed with like a Lich Bane, the Nashor's Tooth, and looks like he's going to be going that route here. Gambit, I'm pretty sure they're going to wait for next Dragon and then take it, probably buy up a couple of items and go for that final push.
And Ocelot, he doesn't want to be in a fighting with Alex H. He's just forced away from that lane. He has got himself the Blade of the Rune King and brutalize up, but instead Alex H, like you mentioned, with that Nashor's Tooth, the sheen on there now, as well as those Source Boots, he's starting to cause problems. Oh, Ocelot might get pinned out here. The rest of Gambit are closing the pincer move. They're going to see if they can get across. Ocelot, though, well, he's pretty slippery himself on Zed. He's got that living shadow to be able to dash towards, but look at this, Gambit. All the members of Gambit now up on this inner turret. This could be the first inner turret of the game for them.
The thing is, they've been doing this so many times across the weekend. They just, all of a sudden, group up as 5, push a lane that they're not expecting, the other team's not expecting, and take that turret. But right now, SK have been able to respond. Hercubot's coming in from base, and Dragon's up in 10 seconds. So Gambit's like, all right, we fancy our chances here. If SK comes in for a team fight, they should be able to take it.
Wolves taken away, Pink Ward getting put down to cover off that blue buff, but that's not really what Gambit care about because they are here for the Dragon, and SK don't honestly have the timer on this because they had no idea when it went down the first time around. So Gambit will pick up this one effortlessly, and that is going to continue to stretch that gold lead to just shy of 8,000.
And they have a lot of gold accruing right now. You have 1,800 on Alex, you have 1,500 on Darien, even have 1,100 on Diamond right now, so they're going to be able to build some major items, and Diamond's actually going to be going, looks like for a Zoners instead of a Leandre. He's not going for that extra true damage. But with the tankiness that Darien has, with the backup, the diving capability of what a Kale brings to the table, Leandre might actually be in trouble.
He may be in trouble. He's going to get caught on. There's the kick back into Kevin. Kevin gets the stun, flashes across, but Diamond's here to try and save the day. Chain of Corruption comes out from Genja. Could he be safe? The Ignite's there. Now Kevin's in trouble. He's going to get caught out. The piercing arrow from Genja manages to pick up the kill after all of that.
What a scumbag, taking the kill in the end, but he's now 6-1. Fantastic job by him to escape, to stall long enough, and a great job by Diamond just to be in the right position to kind of save him right there. And as you can see on your screen, he is number 2 in KDA with 5.7.
Where has Genja come from? This is not the Genja we saw in Tenerife. This is not the Genja we saw last week when they went 0-3. This boot camp in Kiev has done absolute wonders for his confidence, it seems.
Yes, it has. I mean, the change in style that Gambit's working with, it seems like they just sat down and hammered out every problem they had. Any issues within the team, any problems with strategy, they just fixed it all and have come hard. I mean, this could be their 4th win of the Super Week so far. And right now, Ocelot, this is going to be scary.
Yeah, Ocelot's in trouble here, and I'll go back to that boot camp in a moment because let's see what Ocelot manages to do. He tries to go aggressive on Darien, doesn't realize it's a complete trap, tries to get away with his living shadow. The flash, it may be enough. Nicely played, Ocelot. Will he get slowed? No, he's not. He's going to get away. Well done. But what I was going to go back to is the fact is they actually only won about 30% of their games in Kiev. They did not have a good boot camp, but they managed to work things out. Like you said, they managed to discuss things, strategies came out, and clearly, it seems to work for Gambit. They are a clutch team that when it counts, they will step up.
Yeah, it's really weird to see that a lot of teams who scrim against each other in practice, they say, oh yeah, we stomped this team, or oh, they stomped us. They come into LCS, and they do the opposite of what they're doing in practice. It's like they don't take the scrims seriously, as Diamond gonna get caught here, but with the Kale ulti staying alive.
The Kale ulti, and that just, all of the damage was dumped on Diamond and nothing came from it because Alex just turns around and picks himself up a kill on Hercubot.
I don't think they expected that to happen. And right now, SK, they're feeling the pressure as that piercing arrow with that Bloodthirster, with that other BS sword behind it does so much damage to everyone on the team. And this is going to be a free inner turret.
This is a second free inner turret of the game now, and Gambit just picking up advantage after advantage. They're nearly, in fact, they are over 11,000 gold ahead here on SK Gaming. Only 24 minutes got into this game. They managed to massacre Meet Your Makers. They destroyed Evil Geniuses. Kevin's going to go down again. Nif drops as well with another piercing arrow. Ocelot gets caught out. This is destruction derby from Gambit. They are absolutely plowing through SK Gaming, who themselves have looked untouchable so far this Super Week. They are not stopping here. They're going to finish the game.
I think they very well could. I mean, they're very low in health right now, but they have a lot of gold to spend if they do want it back. But we do see the surrender actually come out, and Gambit will take that very one-sided game.
Wow, I have not seen a surrender in a while, that's for sure, but sure as hell, Gambit had full control from level 1. The persecution and execution of Kevin in that top lane. Well, actually, to be fair, not in the top lane, at the blue buff. It all started from the very beginning of that blue buff. Great start from Gambit, and they kept the pressure on. They are one of the teams that knows exactly how to do that. And well, sure as hell, they are 4-0 here in Super Week.
And Ocelot actually said something in chat before the game did end. He said outsmarted. And that is kind of the story of the game. It wasn't like they got outplayed. They just got completely outsmarted in the beginning. And from that, it was the beginning of the avalanche that Gambit used to win the game.
So SK Gaming, they're going to be up against Ninjas in Pajamas. That will be tomorrow. That's a game that both teams will have to win. But Gambit, they are now second place and actually stretching their legs in second place. I believe they're 15-12, so they are possibly looking to be the second place team of the European LCS. There's not really anyone else that's chasing them down right now.
I don't think if they keep playing like this, anyone really can chase them down at this point. And even into playoffs, we talk about momentum, and when they win 4, or they won 4 now, if they win a 5th game, using that momentum into the playoffs, when we know how strong a team they can be, especially just from a couple of days of boot camping, I would hate to be up against them in that first round.
And interestingly, I'm just wondering who Gambit play. Oh, it's Fnatic, the last game of Super Week. Ooh. If Fnatic need to win that game to stay in the playoffs, that could be scary times for Fnatic fans, because Gambit looking good.
And Fnatic's already 0-3 at this point. Like, they are on the verge of being out of playoff contention. Well, I never would have. This whole split, this whole season has just been ridiculous here in Europe.
Fnatic have Meet Your Makers and Gambit tomorrow. There's so many permutations. Honestly, I'm loving Super Week right now. Some of the matches have not been the best, but the fact is the results, the way everything's swinging, has been incredible. We're going to go over towards our analysis desk. It's going to be Joe and Quickshot, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be all about that level 1 start.
I didn't.
We're on. Thanks a lot, guys. That's Ocelot's fault, by the way. He's talking to me this whole time about the game. Damn Ocelot. So, Trevor, let's start at the beginning of the game. I'm totally off my game now. The start, which was where it really started to go wrong.
So the point that you're trying to get to is the blue buff invade, all right? Let's pull it back for a second and think about the previous time Gambit played EG today. The game basically snowballed out of control when Gambit invaded the blue after Snoop had picked up his red. And something very, very similar happened, you know? Gambit invaded on Hercubot's blue buff. A lot of ignites and battling, trading went back and forth. But as soon as that Hercubot was shoved off his blue, Diamond Prox picked it up. It put Hercubot behind. It meant that that early game power of Lee Sin was simply not available in the matchup.
So, I mean, that was obviously not the only thing that went wrong for them, but that was, you know, a bit of a catalyst, let's say, to get things started from there. I mean, Kevin in that solo lane, it was just not his game today.
It was brutal.
We saw like 3 CS on him for a long time, then he clawed up slowly into double figures, but
he only hit 40 CS after 10 minutes of gameplay. At the same time, Darren had a completed Sunfire Cape and had breached 110 CS himself. So it was a real big difference. It was also very difficult for even the duo laners because it was the 2v1 and then it ended up swapping into the 1v1. And in the 2v2s, the first time the Ash arrow went down from Candy Panda, it missed. The second time it went there, Genja flashed over it. The third time they picked the fight, Ocelot came around, and I think he used his death mark on Thresh. And, you know, it's not optimal targeting. It wasn't optimal team fights for SK Gaming. And I think just the early game strength and advantage that Gambit built up kept them in the lead. They never gave it up.
Well, the interesting thing now from SK's point of view is they're 3 for 1, and they have to beat NIP tomorrow, and it's the second to last game.
So with that loss that SK just suffered, it now puts us in, I think, a 3-way tie for about for 4th place. Gambit will now be 14-13, 1 position above, and that puts SK back in relegation. They are back sitting in relegation, and I know everybody's crunching the numbers. I've seen the Reddit threads. If you like this team, we need that team to win, because there's so many possibilities. And it wasn't the same SK that we've been seeing yesterday and earlier today.
Well, thanks a lot, Quickshot. We'll be back a little bit later, but now we're going to head over to Shox, who's ready with an interview with Voidal.
Thank you very much, Joe. Voidal, of course, support player for Gambit. Congratulations on that victory and just a great streak here today. So what was the specific plan in taking on SK Gaming?
SK Gaming, we know, is a very aggressive team. They invaded us level 1, but we weren't like scared of them. We just adapted to their moves and warded everything that could potentially harm us in the long way. So we just decided to check if their bottom lane was bottom or top. We found out that Kevin was actually at the bottom lane, so we just did the best we could and just shut her down very early.
Yeah, tell us a bit more about that early game. As you said, you shut Kevin down. On the other hand, it just seemed like you had the advantage even before any kills. Did you have that same feeling?
Yes, it was a bit similar like our previous games. They should have started blue instead of starting red. We really punished that and denied the enemy Lee Sin jungler. They couldn't really do anything after that. We just pushed the lanes, picked some kills with the invisible leaf. I also placed a lot of pink wards so I could deny them vision. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, you did. You were playing Thresh. You've been playing a lot of Thresh, and then the MF from Genja got banned out. Was Varus the logical second pick for you guys then?
No, I actually wanted to play Twitch with him, but he said, give me Varus, I will do the job. And yeah, what can I say? He did the job.
He certainly did, and Diamond said it yesterday as well. He thinks that the bottom lane of Gambit is now really, really good. How do you feel yourself that you've grown since the last time you've been on this stage? Because it wasn't going that well. Yeah,
it wasn't going that well. I think we were playing like 5 solo queue heroes, not as a team. Now we have the same goals, and we understand what needs to be done when we fall behind or when we get a lead. Like in the all previous games, when we got to a lead, we knew we have to push, we have to pressure. We don't let them just split push and prolong the game.
Do you maybe not think it's a little frustrating that when you put so much work in, you guys are so good? Why can't you always put so much work in then?
Well, it would be cruel to tear Alex and Diamond away from their girlfriend, so I'm not gonna judge them from that. If we can just end up in a good position, I think if Fnatic wins now, Fnatic loses against Mim, we're guaranteed the second place. So yeah, I think we're gonna win against Fnatic anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem.
All right, strong words here from Voidal. Thank you very much and congratulations on that great streak today.
Thank you.
All right, we're going AFK for a minute, but when we come back, we'll finish up today with Lemon Dogs versus Evil Geniuses.